again, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Tera raids in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I've been talking about making this video for a while, and I figure it's probably time. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Tera raids work a lot differently than the max raids from Pokemon Sword and Shield. And a lot of people seem to be struggling with that. So I just wanted to kind of go over some of the basic things about raids, especially the things that have changed since the last set of games, and then give some tips for how not to raid like an idiot.
Listen, I am not nice, I am not kind, and I am not wonderful.
With that out of the way, let me go ahead and jump right into it. First of all, this is a chart of what each star level of raids is like. So, 1-star raids are level 12 enemies. They're really easy, even for beginners. They do have 5 times the HP of a normal Pokemon. So, whatever that Pokemon is, the raid boss version is going to have 5 times the HP. Same thing with the level 20 2-star raids. The bosses have 5 times more HP than what they normally would. Once you get to 3-star raids, and you're not even allowed to host a 3-star raid until you have gotten 3 gym badges in the game. But the 3-star raids are level 35 and have 8 times the HP that the Pokemon normally would. And as you can see down the line, the 4-star raids are level 45 and have 12 times their original HP. The 5-star raids are level 75 and have 20 times their original HP. The 6-star raids are level 90, but when you catch the Pokemon, they will revert to level 75, and they have 25 times their max HP. 7-star raids are level 100 and will stay level 100 when you catch them. They also have 25 times their normal HP, but level 7 raids or 7-star raids are only event raids. They are not available all the time. There will be specific events going on where they will have a 7-star raid Pokemon, and normally they are really tough. Now, raids from 1 to 4 stars are easy for newer players. And what I mean by that is, even if a newer player's Pokemon isn't quite up to snuff, if they're participating in raids with other players, not with NPCs, but with other actual human beings, it is really easy for a moderately high-level player to solo a 1 to 4-star raid. So if you have somebody who's willing to help you, or even if you're just jumping in randomly on an online raid, if it's 1 to 4 stars, there shouldn't be any problem with beating that, even as a new player with weak Pokemon. And so 4-star raids are kind of your best target if you want to just get some XP candies really quick to help power level your Pokemon. The 5-star raids, unlike in Pokemon Sword and Shield, where a 5-star raid was pretty easy to solo with a level 100 Pokemon. If you had one level 100 Pokemon and then the rest of the team was terrible, you were probably still good. Like just about any level 100 Pokemon could solo a 5-star raid in Pokemon Sword and Shield because the raids were like level 60-ish. So in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, however, that is not the case. The 5-star raids are much more challenging. You do have to pay attention to a lot more, and it's going to be a lot tougher for somebody to just solo you through it. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying that you actually have to pay a lot more attention to strategy when you're trying to drag a low-level player through raids of the 5 and 6-star levels than if you were trying to help somebody at 4-star or lower. Which brings me to my next point, and that is you can't use the same Pokemon for every raid. You just can't. There are a ton of people who have built a Azumarill or an Iron Hands, and they just use it on every single raid, regardless of what that raid boss is, and that is not going to work. that is like idiot move number one. Like, you know, Azumarill can be good in raids. It does have some very nice things that it can do. This is like pretty much the standard raid Azumarill, something like this. You know, Aqua Jet might be replaced with something else on certain builds, but basically, Play Rough, Liquidation, Belly Drum is pretty standard for a raid Azumarill, and you can EV train them. I don't think this one was even EV trained properly. Yeah, I think I didn't EV train this one properly because I was planning on finding a shiny one later and then EV training that one. But the point is, this moveset is great and all, but only against certain mons. Like, this is a great thing to bring in against dragon types that don't have other moves that could be super effective against Azumarill. So, you know, the Charizard raids were what most people built this for, and it was great for those because it was water type, so it resisted Charizard's fire moves. It had fairy typing, so anytime Charizard used its dragon type moves that it had for the raid, you know, Azumarill's immune to those. So it was good at resisting those moves. Now, it would often have trouble trying to take a Charizard down by itself, but if it had good mons supporting it, that's fine. So I just wanted to kind of illustrate here that there is no one catch-all mon that's good at every single raid. You should, if you're going to try and seriously raid 5 and 6 star raids, you should probably be building a variety of different mons that can handle different situations. You know, I actually have 2 Tinkatons built, a shiny one and a non-shiny one. And they have different movesets that can handle different things. Tinkaton is a wonderful raid mon. It doesn't work in every situation, though. I wouldn't bring it into, for example, anything that is fire type or used to be a fire type before the Tera. One of the things that people seem to be having trouble with is that they assume that the Tera typing is what they're going to be using offensively, and that's not the case. Most of the time in Tera raids, the Pokemon may not even have Tera Blast, and will just focus on using its original stab moves, which, by the way, don't lose their stab boost because of Tera. A lot of people don't seem to understand this about the Tera mechanic, but when you Terastallize a Pokemon, it does not lose the original stab or same type attack boost bonus that it gets for its moves that match the same type that it has. And when it Teras, it gains that bonus for whatever type it Teras into. If it Teras into a type it already has, then it actually doubles the same type attack boost that it would get for moves of that type. So you especially have to watch out for that type in that case. So again, it's something where if the Pokemon is likely to have fire moves, maybe steel types like Tinkaton, not the best thing. Same thing with ground moves. You know, Pokemon like Orthworm, for example, are really good at dealing with ground moves. Orthworm has an ability called Earth Eater that makes it immune to ground moves, essentially, unless the Pokemon using them has Mold Breaker or gets rid of its ability somehow. But basically, Earth Eater allows it to absorb or reverse the damage from ground-type moves that are being done to it. So, like I said, there are different Pokemon that are good at raiding different types of enemies, and you should be working on building up a group of Pokemon that are good at handling lots of different types of things. But like I said, you shouldn't be expecting one Pokemon to just handle everything. Also, single-use items do not disappear in raids. So, for example, if you were to put a Focus Sash on something like an Iron Hands or an Azumarill, and you got hit and knocked down to your Focus Sash, and the Focus Sash was used, you would get that Focus Sash back at the end of the raid. A lot of people will run the Citrus Berry, which is, again, not going to disappear at the end of the battle. So if you belly drum and you go down below half health, Citrus Berry will give you a little bit of that health back. So if you have berries that are going to heal your Pokemon back up, that would be a good item to run with those types of mons. Anything that relies on that type of self-sacrificing setup is good for that. The other thing a lot of people seem to miss when it comes to raids is the cheer function. The cheer function is easy to forget about, especially when you're right in the thick of it, trying to eliminate your enemies. But you can see the health bars on all of your teammates, and there are 3 different cheers you can do to help them out, and you get 3 uses for cheers during the fight. So the 3 cheers are an attack cheer, a defense cheer, and a healing cheer. So the first cheer, the attack cheer, basically raises everybody's attack and special attack 1 stage. It's good for setup strategies, like the slow bro strategy for the Cinderace raids. It's something where if your team is taking a lot of damage, it's probably better to use one of the other 2 cheers. The defense cheer raises all of your teammates, including yourselves, defense and special defense by 1 stage. So again, it's good for setup strategies, also for strategies where maybe you've got some lower level Pokemon that are taking a little bit more damage than you'd like. It helps kind of even that out. And then of course the healing cheer, I recommend using this anytime you see somebody's health fall into like the orange or red range, where you're below half health. That's a good time to go ahead and unleash that cheer, and it restores a pretty good amount of HP to all of your party members. If more than one person uses it, that's great. That just means that whoever was in trouble is probably going to go up close to full or to full HP after both of those cheers get done. So don't be afraid that you're going to overuse those. There's no such thing as too much healing in a raid, in my opinion. I've already touched on this a little bit, but the understanding raid typings, like if you are unfamiliar with a Pokemon and it's like a 5 or 6 star raid, don't raid that Pokemon. Rate it at 4 stars, figure out more about it, learn about it through the Pokedex, whatever. But don't just assume that because your Pokemon has an offensive advantage against whatever that Pokemon's Tera type is, that you're going to just walk in there and steamroll it. I've heard so many stories about people bringing like a Sylveon to a Reveroom raid because, it's like a dragon type Reveroom. It's like, yeah, that's great and all that, Sylveon is super effective against Dragon with its fairy offense, but Sylveon is also weak to both of Reveroom's stab moves, Reveroom being a steel poison type. So Sylveon is a terrible choice for those types of raids. So I just wanted to kind of put this video out there. I don't think I really gave you too many specific raid strategies, but I hope I've at least helped give you some more to think about when it comes to planning your raid teams. And also, if you're going to try and leech experience candies for people who are doing 5 and 6 star raids, please talk to them first. Please don't just go into rando raids with like a level 1 Mon and expect them to carry you. That's a terrible idea. Those types of raids require a lot of strategy, and there are strategies that lower level players can use to help higher players in those raids, like the Shinx strat, for example. Just not to go over the whole thing, but basically in those raids, when a player faints, it reduces the amount of time that you have left in the raid, but lower level Mons reduce the timer less. So if a level 1 Mon faints, it doesn't reduce the timer as much as if a level 100 faints. So people have been using this mechanic to have a level 1 Shinx that faints over and over and over again, and every time it comes back in, it intimidates the raid boss and lowers its attack, which is cute. There's no strategy that works for every raid boss, and that definitely doesn't work for everything. It only works for like physical attacking raid bosses, and again, you want to make sure that that strategy is okay with the people you're raiding with before you just drop in with a level 1 Shinx. I don't recommend just showing up with a level 1 Shinx to complete strangers' raids and expecting them to carry you. That's rude. Don't do it. So anyway, hopefully this video has been informative for you. If you learned something from this video, like this video, share it with your friends. If you already knew all this stuff, share it with a brainlet who doesn't know this stuff so that they can learn something. And hopefully this video makes its way around the internet and people learn to stop raiding like
Morons!
I know it's probably not going to happen, but hey, a guy can dream, can't he? Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. And of course, as always, I do hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.